Hi guys, this is Super Sam Crusher. Welcome to my chess club where I talk about moves, tactics and ideas to have a great opening, mid and end game, smashing your opponent with ease. It's time to chess it out.
So my opponent started out with a queen pawn opening. I mirrored his move and then he gave a queen's gambit. So I responded with an Albin counter gambit. And from here, I decided to capture on d5. I captured back on d5 with my queen. He moved his knight to f3 and I checked his king. And so from here, he decided to block that check using his knight and at the same time threatening my queen. And so I moved my queen to a safer position, still in a position of threat to the king, the queen, and his bishop. And so he responded by just capturing my piece over there, and I retaliated by capturing his piece and also checking the king. So here, my opponent needs to be very careful because if he captures the wrong piece, he can put both his king and his rook in danger.
Before I move on, if you know you enjoy the value these videos have been bringing to you, I would like you to like the video and subscribe to this channel to get more videos like this. So let's move on.
So he decided to make a brilliant move by attacking my bishop here. So he wants a trade. And I ignored that and just captured his pawn on d4. Now from here, he captured my bishop on c3 and I captured his queen on d1. Of course, I know what's going to happen. He's going to capture my queen back, but I don't care at this point. So he captured my queen as expected and I moved my knight to f6 to get that also involved in the game. He moved the pawn to e3. I castled because of this knight here, so I don't want to put my king under unnecessary pressure. So castling helps you save your king for the most part. And now he moved his bishop c4, trying to pose a threat on f7 because his knight is also covering up that space. And by the time he hits f7, he'll be checking my king and I'll be forced to move to h8. Okay, so I decided to block that before the situation gets so messy. Now he captured my bishop. I retaliated by capturing his bishop and then he castled. Now at this point, I knew what exactly I was about to do. All I want to do is just keep trading important piece so we can both have limited weapons to work with. Okay, so I had to bring up my knight here with the intention of trading knights as well, and he accepted that. I captured back and now he brought his rook down, getting his rook involved, and I tried to push my knight in here such that if he captures my knight, I'm going to recapture using any of my pawns here. But he declined that and he moved his bishop somewhere else, trying to capture my rook. But what he forgot is the fact that my knight has the capability of hitting his bishop in this position. So I captured the bishop. And he was furious, I guess, and captured my knight as expected, and I had to move my knight on c8 by mistake. My initial plan was to move my rook. I had to move my rook on c8, and that was a mistake. My initial plan was to move my rook on b8 so I can attack his rook and still have a defense on f8. So if he decides to attack my rook, I'm gonna kill the rook back and finally attack this piece here. This is my target, right? But I made a mistake and he moved his rook to safety. So this means I'm a step behind. And so I had to go back to the spot where I wanted it initially. And I was hoping he doesn't push his pawn forward, because if he did push his pawn forward, then this move would be invalid. And thankfully, my opponent was bent on killing all my piece without checking out for his own safety. And I took advantage of that. And boom! I slammed this pawn. And then he saw that, and he really wasn't fazed because he was bent on punishing me. So he had to protect this piece. But this wasn't my own plan. I wasn't planning on catching up with capturing this piece at all. My plan is to put the king in trouble. So I kept on with my own plan and I slammed a second one. Now, seeing this, he had to cause his own damage quickly enough before I'm able to do anything to his king, because he knows his king is well protected by this rook, right? So I moved on h6 because I'm aware that if he comes down here checking my king, I'm going to be in big trouble, and I don't want to trap my king behind my pawns. So I had to create room for my king to escape. So that's an escape route. And then he pushed his pawn ahead of my pawn on g7 because he can't capture on h6 due to the fact that my pawn on g7 protects that space. So he kept his pawn here, he kept his rook here to trap my king more. And then I pushed my king to become a threat to the rook. So at this point, he has no other option than to move away. So when he moved away, that gave me enough room to develop my piece forward, and he also tried to do the same thing, and I had to block that by pushing on a5. So seeing that I did this, he wanted a fast response, and then he made the mistake of bringing down his rook. Although I'm sure he was trying to be smart, he was hoping I would check his king using my rook, and then his king would capture my rook over here. But that wasn't the case because I was smarter than that. So what I did was I moved my rook closer to the second one so that the king would not have my rook in proximity in order to capture it. Okay, and now I'm in a good shape to give him a stunning check. So his next move would determine if I'm going to win this game now or not. And I was hoping he makes that mistake. And lo and behold, my opponent made the mistake of moving another pawn forward, and that gave me the opportunity to check him in the next move. And bam! Stunning checkmate. So this is how you checkmate your opponent, by trading off important piece. See you in the next episode.